Hey guys, Matty, it's the Broken Supercoach checking in with you Monday morning on a chilly Adelaide Monday morning. Actually, it's absolutely pouring. So, apologies if you can hear that in the background. Hopefully, you get a bit of rest in rain. Um, so we'll just go through the round 11. So it's a weird round. We'll go through the scores. Probably not a lot of trading to be done in this round for anyone, leading into round 12. But we did get some DPPs, so we can take a look at the key ones. There are some handy ones, most certainly some handy DPPs that have come through. And one big one that we've already spoken about for the last 3 weeks as well. Two big ones. So let's have a look how the team went. So I got 2466, I should say, sorry. Top 8%, pretty decent score. I've only gone up 3,000 because I think 2400 is par for a top score. So well, let's go to there. I've hit the wrong button. Don't mind me. So there we go. So we got the first set of buys this week. The only really relevant teams. Oh, well, yeah. There's Carlton, Richmond, GWS on the buy this week. So let's firstly go through the scores. But that's what the blue. If you're watching the video and not just listening, that's what the blue's about. The blue dots mean that they're on a buy. So across the back line, I ran this 6. Let me just undo because I've already switched it up, so bear with me. Sorry. So across the back, yeah, we went Sicily, Hewitt, Dawson, Short. They're the main 4 that we're liking. Short was quite low on the Friday night game, but that's all right. There's not too much to be concerned about here. We like Short. And Coleman and McCartan, we opted to Field, which was the right choice over these two. So yeah, Dacos is leaking money, but I'm going to hold him up until his buy. He's just a handy guy to have through the buys. Round 14 buy, so he's handy to have. Gibcus, similar. He's leaking money as well, but being on the buy this week, he's one that has to go. Remember, I have the leftover money. So what did I do as far as the trade? I know I said I was just going to go with. Well, yeah, I didn't really commit to anything, did I, on Friday? It was a pretty poor video, so apologies there. And I ended up doing something totally crazy. I went Cooper Stevens, who I just wanted for 2 weeks. Yes, round 13 byplay, terrible. And I went Wits, and I captained him. So, yeah, I got back on the Wits train, came trailing between my legs. The choice was between him or Darcy. I didn't really want Gorn, because I just felt like Gorn, those scores were a little too scary for me, his low scores the last 3 weeks. I was worried. I mean, he ended up scoring quite well, and he was always going to, but I just felt that was too much of a risk for me to take. So I grabbed Wits. Didn't lose any. I lost $300 on him, but whatever. Yeah, he scored 119. I captained him because I was worried that he was going to absolutely rip up against Hawthorn, and he kind of did. So yeah, I'm back on the Wits train. Now, what does that mean for my ruck structure for the whole year? I'm not quite sure, if I'm honest. I'm more likely thinking if you're talking about ruck structures, it's probably Cameron and Wits, and then English I'll consider a forward. I'll bring in another forward, and later in the year I'll switch Cameron into Darcy or Gorn, and that'll be almost a side grade because of how well Cameron's going. I could even do it at Cameron's buy. I might flip him over to Gorn or Darcy if they're similar price, which they actually might be. This guy's he'll probably track to 500k and another break even. He plays 2 more games, and then both Gorn and Darcy are quite cheap at the moment. So yeah, I like that. And yeah, I got back on the Wits train. All right, so yeah, I traded him out. When did I trade him? For 450. I traded him to get Cripps, I think it was, or did I trade him to get English? I don't remember. It's at the moment, it's probably a negative trade for me, just purely because English was injured. If English had kept playing, that's a win easy, because have a look. We'll get to English in a minute, but get a look at him. So anyway, midfield, pretty stock standard stuff. I played Macomb, same story. Dogs were they playing West Coast, was it? Yes, they weren't playing they were playing West Coast. So I figured of all the guys here, he would probably be the best scorer. Greg Clark ended up being it, but that's fine. we'll get to use them both this week. So that's cool. I don't ever plan on having Stevens on field. Won't need it. Yeah, we spoke about the rucks. Had English in the rucks. I actually did mention in my video last week that you probably could captain English if you had a big set of balls. Obviously, I don't, because 160 I really should have. And what a comeback! The big English. Now that's reward for good patience. He's now, not many people would have brought him in last week. You have to go. Oh, it's too tricky at the moment to see how many people are bringing him in. But he's a danger buy. Not many people are bringing him in last week. I really think, does it have it here? Picked in percentage of teams. It doesn't have it, unless I'm blind. Yeah, you've kind of got to look. Yeah, so even still, there's not many people bringing him in, which is just, he's a perfect pod for us. So we're really loving that. We'll actually have a look at, we'll look at him shortly to see how many are in his team. See how many teams he's in, rather. And then the forward line looks like this. So we vice captain Parker. 116 I wasn't that thrilled about, and I had no one to loop once I traded Bruce out. So Bruce wasn't out. Yes, he'll come in. Yes, I've said all year I wanted him as ruck too. But I just wanted off the train. I don't know. It looks a little too risky. With him being in and out like that, it seems that they're picking people based on form, which is fine. You know, Flynn's playing some good footy. It's a real concern if you're it's a real concern if you're relying on Bruce on field, and I just couldn't do it. Hayes, I'll keep for quite some time, I think. Lyset's not back for quite a while. He seems to have been extended out even longer. Yeah, so, of course, no loop for Parker, so I just like to see on Wits. Could have been English. Lucky I didn't do McRae. Yeah, Cameron, Cornelio, lower score. I'm all right with it. What did they do? Yeah, they lost to Brisbane. He was on quite a high score. They must have tagged him towards the end or just didn't do much towards the end. So that's okay. I'm not too bothered about that. And then there's the Conning 75. We love that. We'll get another week out of him. We'll get another week out of McCartan. Drop so reliable. Hopefully we can get him up to, 380? No, 360? 370? Yeah. If you want to trade them this week, you probably can. But, I wouldn't keep those. People trading Sam Hayes, that's insane. Who for? Oh, Strandiker. Far out. Who's now listed as injured. So, yeah, I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be keeping Sam. I plan on having Sam Hayes ruck for me next week. He should play unless I miss something in the Port game. I didn't get to see the Port game, but he should play, and he'll give us a score on field in round 13 and 14. So now, yep, what does Wits do to my buy in round 13? A lot. I'm in serious strife there. We'll zoom in a little bit for you guys. Yeah, I'm in a bit of strife. Yeah, I've got to do one trade this week, bring in around 12 players. So I'll probably just go. It's going to be Gibcus, Sinclair, or Walsh. I don't know which one yet. Most probably Sinclair. And then it's going to be... I don't even think I'll do any other trades after that. So let's have a look. First thing we'll do is we'll go through the DPP. So interesting DPP players. So there aren't actually that many, so we can tick them off real quick. And the way to check... I mean, there are probably others, but I'm talking about relevant ones. So you just hit defense, and you go average. And there's no new defenders. So your 6, I mean, there might be lower. There might be some rookies that have come up, perhaps, someone like a Blitzarves or something. But realistically, no. Your top 6 defenders are still your top 6. Your top 10 are still the top 10. So there's no real... there's nothing really to be of concern about here. These are all the same guys. We'll bring Sinclair in this week, probably. What do we have? What do we have in the forward line? We see, so the 2 new ones, Bailey Smith, Bontempelli, huge ins. I think Bont, you probably want to get as your last forward. I don't trust Smith as far as play time goes, but I think I want Bont in my team. But 589 is an extremely difficult ask, and I should have done it when he was. Oh, he's always sort of hovered at that, hasn't he? So I'm not hugely fussed about that. No other sort of new ones that I can think of down here. You start to scrape the barrel towards here. And then in the ruck, there's Darcy Cameron, which we like. I'm not sure what Blitzars was. I think that's a change. Well, there's nothing really now. Darcy Cameron's in, but he's got a low. He's got a low thing, and maybe Maybor Chol's new as well. So that's interesting. But not a lot to go through. And in rookies, there are a couple of key ones that people have on field. McComb's got your DPP, so I'm going to use that immediately this week to get an extra score on field. McComb will play for me here because I don't want Rosas. I never want Rosas on field. Even though he outscored McComb, I don't trust him. So we'll have him on. We'll also run Cripps off if we can. We'll probably run Greg Clark on there, and then we'll probably run... who do the Crows play? West Coast. So I'll probably run Saligo. He'll probably get some good footy there. Cooper Stevens will be off again because there's no way to get him on. So, or is there? No, there isn't. That's a shame, but all right. We're going to play him over all of these guys, aren't we? In the defense, easy. Dacos comes on. And we've got one hole there. So how many do we have playing? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you only get your top 18. Doesn't matter what lines they're on. Give me a sec, guys. Yeah, sorry, guys. A little bit croaky this morning, but that's all right. Yeah, so that's your DPPs. We'll set that up. Round 13 is the tricky one. So I need to make some big moves because I only got 15 playing at the moment. So I need to bring 1 in this week and 2 in next week, which will work out. You get 3 trades, so it'll be all right. And then round 14, non-issue at all. So that's cool. So what's the trade this week? It's just 1 trade, I think. And it does nothing for us on field this week. I think it's just a case we're going to move Gibcus on. So Gibcus has been great. He lost a little bit of cash this week, 6K, but he's been very good for us. We used him on field a fair bit. Started him on that Thursday night. And he's been handy on field up until quite recently where we had Coleman and McCartan playing. So thanks for your service, Josh Gibcus. We are going to turn him into Sinclair. So Sinclair or Walsh, it doesn't matter, but I think Sinclair is the one we want. We'll do Sinclair just because of the money. It's irrelevant. We're doing Walsh the week after. So Sinclair this week, he comes on. So now that puts to the bench one of these two, which actually, McCartan's going next week. So hang on, let's have a look at the structure. So you want to do the whole structure because you still don't want to ruin your structure when the game goes on. So before I do that trade, let's have a real think about this. So our weakest position is still M9, so that's all right. So it just means that we have to commit to Walsh next week as well. But what I'm thinking is, because over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to trade McCartan, Gibcus, DeConning. So my most danger on field position is here, actually, a forward. And then this midfield. So this is Walsh. And then we need to bring someone in here for round 14. Now that we're going to have to think about who that is. So, and then, we'll sort this next position out through Dacos. That's easy. And Coleman's scoring quite well anyway. So, yeah, so we've got Sinclair on. So it's looking nice so far. Let me use Coleman in place of this. The Walsh goes here. So, no, that's all right. So you can do Sinclair. No big deal. It just means we've got to afford Walsh. And then in round 14, we're going to try to get Bont somehow. Put him here. The other thing we can do is instead of trying to get Bont for DeConning, with the price of what Gorn or Darcy might be, let's have a look at him, by the way. We might actually flip English and go Gorn. Gorn with a break even of 119 and around 14 buy, so he probably doesn't get much lower than 550. And then Darcy, 581 with a break even of 68, right? So if you wanted Darcy, you needed him now. I needed to bring him in last week, but we'll see what Gorn does. That is a choice for us in round 14. Bont only plays once more. The issue with Bont is that he's 589, break even of 122. So we're probably paying the same price for Gorn and Bont next week or round 14. It doesn't matter. So we're not too fussed there. That's okay. We're not going to go Heaney. So that's what we're looking at. So it's quite a short video today, guys, because there's not much to talk about. Let's you can actually, if you've got this, you can actually hit optimize. Really handy for the buys, actually. Except it trolls you, because why would I get Cooper Stevens averages 58, but Soligo against West Coast. So we're loving that. It even gives you some handy vices too. So, and I like them. I really like those options. I think we're going to vice Laird into West Coast though. And we'll run the C in of, Sicily into Collingwood. Nah. I think we'll run the C of, okay. Chill, bro. I think we're going to Laird Vice, but yeah, and then we're probably going to, that's the same day. Melbourne and Sydney, there's not much we're going to be able to do there. We'll just, maybe Neil on the Sunday. I reckon Sicily's not a bad captain option, if I'm being honest. I think it's Collingwood. So let's run that. And you can, with your buys, you can loop a heap of people because these guys don't get blacked out. But whatever, I'm probably taking C options because you just want players. So yeah, one trade today, guys. That's it. Sinclair in the team. Next week it's Walsh in. We're probably going to go Ware, maybe Mitch Owens. But I think Ware, because I want to maintain this defensive structure here. So probably just McCartan down to Ware. Sinclair sits on frame short, sits on for Dacos. And it's those. Probably with that money, we turn to Conning into someone, or we turn to Conning into Walsh. We get Walsh on the field, and then we have just a pretty awkward forward hole for about a week until we get Bont the week after. But that's all right. Round 13, it doesn't need to matter. We just need playing players. So probably Owens comes on. We bank his cash. Probably for Rosas, who's done nothing for us. Absolutely disgraceful he's been. But that's probably who it is. Unless Soligo can give us a really nice send-off. But he's still making cash, so we might hold him through the buys. Yeah, so anyway, I've spoken enough about that. Yeah, it's looking good. The team's not where I want it to be. And honestly, it's pretty frustrating this year. I've had some really unlucky calls. But let's, fingers crossed, with English back, with this structure, with some interesting pods in Dawson, English. I think Laird is quite a good pod at the moment as well. Darcy Cameron hopefully can boost that scoring up just a little bit for us, and he gives us the flexibility to play a Bont in the forward line or a Gorn in the ruck. So it really does give us that flexibility, which I love. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there. So thanks, guys. Let us know how you went this weekend. What are you doing as far as trades this weekend? There's really not a lot. And how are your buys looking? How is your buy looking this week? Because some people have told me that round 12 is a danger round for them, but I just don't see it. With the amount of Dogs players, Melbourne players people have, I figured only 13 would be the danger one. But let us know. Is this your danger round? Because you've got Tom Stewart, because maybe you've got Dusty, maybe you've got a bunch of GWS players, maybe you've got some Port players, and you might have Sinclair. No matter, Steel's not a thing anymore. So, yeah, I suppose this could be a tough week. So, anyway, let us know how you go. Thanks, guys. I'll chat to you probably on Friday morning.